any hope for the next 4 years?
I'm not even an American citizen.
So he's not an American citizen, but he's protesting against Trump.
This last election, there was so many of the new Gen Z. I thought that everyone was a little bit more awake.
More woke.
That's fair, but I mean, it's not necessarily just about being woke in the standard context. It's just, I thought we all were more aware of what was going on in this country, and I really hoped we weren't going to go down that route. But
the reason why Donald Trump won is because people were overly aware of what was going on in America.
Can I ask you guys a few quick questions?
What are the questions?
Well, it's freezing. So what brought you out here? What made it so important to be out here in the freezing weather?
All of this.
All of this?
Yeah.
And could you explain a little bit about what it is?
All right, so you see the current president, right? Obviously he was elected. You see his policies. Even though it disadvantages many of our communities, we are here to still show that we are a community and we're here for each other, even during this presidency as well.
Are we talking about Biden or Trump?
Trump, both. Both.
Okay.
I mean, when it comes to the lesser evil, that's just a nullified argument. They're both as evil as each other, but to each their own, I guess, with their opinions.
Do you have any hope for the next 4 years?
I'm not even an American citizen.
So he's not an American citizen, but he's protesting against Trump. I think that perfectly summarizes what's happening right now in the United States. But anyways, my name is Elafar Jojo. I'm an engineering student getting a master's degree right now in electronics engineering. And today we're going to see why people are protesting at the inauguration, and we're going to see why people are protesting against Trump. Shout out to the channel Bo Diddle for this video. But let's continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
All right, so we're at the inauguration. I just learned that this is called a guillotine. Do they think that Trump is going to do this to them? Is this a sign of what they believe Trump believes? I don't know. But this is a terrible display, and we're going to ask them why. Excuse me? Can I ask you about the guillotine?
ask him.
Ask him. He looks a little bit scary. Can I ask you about the...
look intimidating.
Can I ask you about the guillotine?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you want to know?
What does this mean? What's the symbolism?
I want people to wake up to just what time it is. This time in 1760 in France, the wealth disparity was actually better than it is here. So we're worse off than they were. But a lot of people just aren't hip to this. They're not waking up. They see they have a few nice things, like they've got iPhones and whatever, but these are just little shiny things that we makes it feel like our life is good, but really it's could be so much better. Things are not the way that they really could be.
Is this symbolism towards Donald Trump?
It's definitely not pointed in any one person, but it's just more pointed at the system itself.
And it's symbolism that the system is going to kill you, essentially.
I wouldn't say exactly. I'd say it's just a sign that the people have power. That there are some people that are not as scared as they should be. People in power, and they better watch their step. Like we're the majority. We outnumber them, and that's we can't just sit down and take it. Yeah.
And it says "come get some." Can you tell me why you chose the words "come get some"?
It's just how it is. Like. Square up,
Just come get some.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. This isn't about violence or anything. It's just adds a little bit of angst. Yeah.
So it definitely adds nice flavor to the
for sure. Yeah.
To the guillotine. Okay, last question for you. If you could move out of America, would you? And where would you go if you could?
Not. I would say not right now. I feel like I've got work to do, and I want to see it. I want to see better for this country.
And you said you have work to do. What values are most important to you?
Just to see that the people that are hungry are fed, and they're fed first. To see that everybody has the ability to be who they want to be and live how they want to live.
I think that's a pretty fair thing to say, I guess. But when he says he wouldn't move out the country yet, what do you mean by that? Do you think there are places that are better than America that you would decide to move to.
It is freezing outside. What makes today so important that you're willing to freeze your metaphorical balls off to be here?
Honestly, I am just tired of like everything that we go through in this country. I actually want to see change, and it is so worth it to fight for the things that people have fought for over the course of the last 100 years. And I truly just, I want the best for this country, and I want to see real change and not this made up.
And you say you want the best. What is the best?
Honestly, like, if we started off with just basic human rights and making that just like common knowledge, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And today, of course, the elephant in the room is Donald Trump's being inaugurated. What's your immediate reaction when you heard that he won?
I was honestly really shocked, considering that this last election there was so many the new Gen Z. I thought that everyone was a little bit more awake.
More woke.
That's fair, but I mean, it's not necessarily just about being woke in like the standard context. It's just, you know, I thought we all were like more aware of what was going on in this country, and I really hoped we weren't going to go down that route. But
And I love the fact that she said that, because the reason why Donald Trump won is because people were overly aware of what was going on in America. I'm tired. I'm sorry for the yawn. But basically, the reason Donald Trump won is because people were overly focused on the fact that they couldn't afford a home, or they were overly focused on the fact that they couldn't find a job, or they were overly focused on the fact that prices were not going down. They were not even stagnant. They were shooting up at an exponential rate. They were overly focused on the fact that quadruple the amount of illegal immigrants have entered the country during the past presidential term. They were overly focused on the fact that people were ignoring their day-to-day needs. That's why they wanted something different in office. That's why. And they were overly focused on the fact that Kamala Harris, the former vice president and the previous nominee for the Democratic Party in the presidential election, said that she was running off of what Biden did. Then she quickly changed her mind, said that she's not running off of what Biden did. And people were overly focused on this. This is why they wanted something different, and they were hoping the difference would be Donald Trump in this previous election, showing why he won the popular vote. Whether or not those people's premises were right or wrong, the fact of the reality is this: the immigration did go up during the past presidential election. What else? Kamala Harris and Joe Biden did say they were running off of the same terms to one another. Housing prices did go up. Everything went up. Whether or not you're saying it's Trump's fault or Biden's fault, but that's why Trump won.
you know what? I'm here to fight for our rights.
And by the numbers, the liberal turnout decreased and conservative numbers increasing. Why do you think that is?
Honestly, I can't really speak much on that. I myself don't view myself as part of any of the parties, so I don't understand how that happened. I don't think we should be going back to traditional values, because really humans aren't meant to follow traditional values.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Do you think that America is worth saving?
That's a really complicated question. I mean, do I think America is worth saving? Not in the current state that it's in. I mean, like, we're here, like, illegitimately, you know, like, we're on stolen land. So, like, America as is, no, is not worth saving. But, I mean, as far as, like, tearing it down and building something new, then, yeah, sure, I'm all about that. But in its current state, no, I think we're kind of
You say tear it down. What do you mean by tear it down?
I mean, I think that we need to reimagine a system that doesn't punish people just for being underprivileged, being who they are. And the system that we have right now is sort of like, you know, it's sort of pitting us against each other and sort of encouraging us to sort of like look at each other as like there's not enough to go around. There aren't enough rights to go around. And a system like that, it's just going to keep going until it eats itself.
Do you believe that conservatives are a danger to society?
I mean, yeah, I do. I mean, like, I think it's really important to have empathy for people, and I think it's really important to, like, meet people where they are, and I think there's something to be said for messaging that, like gets at our shared values, right? So like when you think about trans rights, for example, and talking to people who are like conservatives opposed to trans rights, like I think it's important to just say like, hey, nobody wants to be put in a box. Nobody wants to be told they can't like be who they are. And it's my hope that we can like reach people with messaging like that. But I wouldn't say like, oh, conservatives are a danger to America. I would say that anyone who thinks that it's okay to punish someone for who they are, anyone who thinks it's okay to take someone's rights away and suggest that their rights are in tension with my rights, and so like only one of us can feel safe here, like that's what the danger is.
I've never heard a conservative say they want to take someone's rights away. Maybe I just didn't expose myself to this type of rhetoric, but I've never heard a conservative say I want to take someone's rights away. That's not... Here's the problem with what her statement is. She said that conservatives lack empathy, and this is why they're dangerous to society. And the example she brought up was when it came to trans rights. Here's the thing. A lot of conservatives are very religious, meaning that they follow their religion to a T or so on and so forth. And conservatives, it's not that they are empathetic or they want to take someone's rights. They do not believe that you can be trans necessarily, or that you can switch genders. That's the thing. They don't believe that someone can switch genders. That's at least what I heard. If I'm wrong, let me know. But that's where the disconnect is. It's not the fact that they want to take anyone's rights away or send anyone to jail. That's not at all what they want. They just don't believe that someone can switch genders, and they don't want these beliefs forced upon them. They don't want to change their ideologies based off of whether it's their religion or just their moral beliefs based off of what someone else is telling them to do. That's what conservatives think. When it comes to a lack of empathy and a lack of a lack of empathy and that they're a threat to society, I think you're just misinterpreting what's really happening here. But let me know what you all think in the comments below about her statement.
You know, so I think it's maybe a little bit like simplistic to say, oh, conservatives are a danger to America. I just would like broaden that to anyone, because, you know, there are some people within the Democratic Party who are not supportive of Palestine, who are not supportive of trans rights, who are not supportive of police abolition. You know what I mean? So I think we need to sort of like look at the whole picture and sort of understand, like, you know, sometimes the call is coming from inside the house, you know?
It is freezing outside.
Yes, sir.
What makes today so important to get out in the cold and still be here to protest?
Well, somebody might photograph us all, and so every extra body is a little more oomph for the cause.
Scared that maybe the media will twist it and say there's not many people here?
No, they likely will. The mainstream media are full of lies and bias.
And do you believe that America is a country worth saving?
In a way, no, because even though I don't have direct connections with any indigenous people, when I try to think about their viewpoint, then I'm thinking, why should they, who really own this land, care about so-called America, which is named after Amerigo Vespucci, an Italian explorer? I see America as a European invasion of this continent, but that's kind of idealist and not. It doesn't take into account the current power situation, which is the vast majority of people here, or the vast majority of the power held by people here, as measured economically and politically, is Anglo-Saxon people. So I guess indigenous people have to deal with that in some way.
So what is your ideal America?
The two-party system should be defeated. The rule by billionaires should be defeated. There should be democracy.
Do you think that America is a country worth saving, or is it too late?
I think that we are a country worth saving. I think that sometimes saving something means changing it. I think that sometimes saving something means letting things fall away. I think sometimes it means drastic changes, revolutionary changes, radical changes. But I think that the people of this country are worth saving, are worth educating, are worth existing. I think that we started with a beautiful promise that was never fulfilled for anyone in this country and was never meant to be fulfilled for everyone in this country. And I think that that is what it comes down to for me, is how do we take that original premise and turn it into something that can actually exist.
Let me know what you all think about what she just said, because I have my thoughts, but I'll save them for the end.
You say revolutionary changes, radical changes. What does that mean? What changes would be considered revolutionary?
I mean, I think at this point there are lots of people who consider any change to be revolutionary change, right? We live in a world and in a society where any kind of change, any kind of significant pushback is going to be met with a lot of resistance. So I think that at this point just about any kind of significant change feels revolutionary. I think governmental change at this point is necessary in the way that our government operates and the way that our government is constructed, and that's obviously going to be a radical thought to a majority of people. So I think that's probably the most poignant one that I can point to.
Okay.
When it comes to revolutionary change, I don't remember the last time, and it's pretty ironic because it's called liberalism. You are liberation. You are liberating America. When was the last time liberalism has led to a significant change in the country? I can't think of the last change in a 20-year span from 2000 to 2025, 25-year span. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm delusional. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. My name is Elafar Jojo, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.